This is my reaction to the Quick Slices Love, the Love Bombing Olympics Love is Blind. So let's start with the video right now.
I was actually extremely unattractive and nerdy and weird, and people didn't talk to me. I had like this big afro, I had braces.
In case you haven't noticed, I'm weird. I'm a weirdo.
When I was younger, I was actually extremely unattractive. Can you believe that? Like, I know it's hard to believe that I was nerdy and weird and that nobody liked me, but as you can see, that's the total opposite now. Like, however much that was true then, the opposite is true now. I'm on a reality show. I'm pretty much the coolest guy ever. Like, I don't have to do nerd stuff anymore.
Now that I have more attention physically from women, it's irrelevant, right? That same version of me back when I wasn't attractive.
Though I do notice it now, he still looks like a dork. Just because you don't have an afro right now, that doesn't mean that you don't look like a weirdo. Now, you're not the bad kind of weirdo, but still a weirdo though.
Relevant, right?
Look, this whole being attractive thing is kind of new to me, and I'm sick of it. I get all this attention from women, but I can't figure out who actually likes.
Yeah, this is why the Quick Slice is a good review of this show, and I am not, because I actually didn't find anything wrong in what he said. But now that I'm listening to the Quick Slice review this, I do kind of get why the lines that he said are kind of like, huh? What do you mean by that?
Me for me and who likes me because I'm beautiful. Maybe I should like go into some kind of pod and stay there for a while. Welcome back everyone to season 8 of Love is Blind. Things are really starting to heat up. Actually, they're not at all, really. Everyone's had one date so far, and some of them are already deeply in love. And that is completely normal and okay. There's no need to question it. Nothing's wrong.
I really want someone that just loves me for who I am and doesn't really care about what I look like.
I just need someone to accept the fact that I used to be really unattractive.
Yeah.
I'm not now, though, but I was before.
Yeah, that
But
is kind of like, it feels like you internally feel that you're not as bad looking as you were earlier, but you kind of know that you're not like super handsome right now, and you feel like your personality has evolved to like a certain extent where by talking you can actually get people interested in you, but you know that your physical features are not that good enough in your eyes that can actually attract someone from the opposite gender, and you're at an age where you feel like you have to marry now. So instead of doing the hard work of maybe making yourself more attractive, or just accepting who you look like and just accepting it, and just going out trying to get with people, you took the easy way out, which is coming to this show. That's what I feel like he has done here.
I'm not now. I'm all like handsome and stuff now, but before I was nerdy and weird and unattractive, but I'm not anymore. So anyway, now Alex talks to this girl Madison and they bond over, you guessed it,
Trauma.
traveling. And look, I'm not saying you can't bond over traveling. It sounds like she actually has done a lot of it. She spent a lot of time in Europe
Well,
and then lived in the
I think Trauma was more. I think she did bond over Trauma with this guy. Maybe it was Dave that she, bonded with in terms of Trauma. Maybe I've got it wrong.
Middle East for a while. All I'm saying is every person who has ever been on the show loves to travel and they want to travel and see the world. It's almost always the first topic of conversation with people. It's like, what do you love to do? Travel. I want to go do things in places.
Madison! Oh my gosh, I'm so excited to talk to you right now. Oh my god. Oh my god.
Okay, wait, remind me where you're from.
I'm from a small town. I'm just a nerdy kid from a small town. I used to get picked on. It's no big deal, you know? Something I've noticed about this show is a lot of people are like, oh, in the past, I only cared about looks, and that was the only thing I went for in relationships. But I don't know if going to the other extreme is necessarily a good idea, just to,
Yeah.
like, prove that you don't care about looks only. And in a weird way, it shows that they still do care about looks because it's such a big part of the concept, and they talk about it constantly. Luckily, it's just a random coincidence that everyone on the show is usually conventionally attractive, so it just kind of makes the whole thing
Yeah.
pointless. They really can't sneak a Gino in here or something.
Yeah,
Like,
that does kind of like, maybe some of them are like nerdy looking, but no one is like straight up ugly or straight up like, maybe in the men, maybe someone are like straight up mid, But overall, there's no one like straight up mid or someone like a Gino there. Which I think if they had mixed it up with like mid-tier women and men, maybe a little bit on the higher scale, maybe a little bit on the lower scale, and straight up ugly people and super attractive people too, then this could have been like a very interesting, very great show to watch.
Have to do this every season? Is love really blind? Can a real connection be formed solely based on personality? Let's find out by picking a bunch of attractive people with no personality.
Do you like to travel?
I really love seeing different ways of life, and
Yeah.
so that is one of my favorite things ever to do. So
Different ways of life. You can do that without traveling though. You can go on YouTube and search different ways of life. You don't need to travel for that.
So
love
cool.
that you like to travel.
What are you looking for in a partner?
Travel. I just want someone who's kind.
I'm just looking for a kind traveler. I just really want someone that's willing to take slow motion shots of me walking down hallways. Alright, I know I'm making fun of people for just doing completely normal things at this point. It's more so how the guy introduced himself. I find that way too hilarious now. There are, of course, plenty of moments on this show that are very normal and boring where two people are just bonding over normal shit that anybody would talk about. I'm not trying to rain on everybody's parade and make fun of them just for talking and having a connection. I'm just trying to travel, you know? I just want to travel. I think I'm just frustrated that I'm not traveling right now and instead I'm just making this video.
Really important to me that like people feel safe with me.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my
You're
God.
saying all the right things, Madison.
Every time I try to be like, all right, I'm not going to make fun of anybody. I'm just going to keep an open mind. I'll just watch the show, all right? It's not like I would be any better on here. I would be awkward too. Anybody would be awkward.
But I won't be on this show because I know what I look like and I know what my personality is. So I'm just not compatible with anyone. So I just won't be there.
And then I watch another minute, and everything I just said just flies out of my brain. It's mostly just people's reactions to completely normal things, like when Tom pulled a chair out for Darcy and she started crying. This whole show kind of has that energy. Somebody will be like, I want you to feel safe, and then everybody immediately wants to award them a Nobel Prize. So anyway, Madison starts telling Alex about her upbringing, and all I could think is, everyone has to write all this stuff down because they're talking to so many people. They're basically taking spark notes on each other and then deciding later on which ones they want to go back to or not. It's just funny to me that their idea of finding a true love connection is flipping through notes and comparing lists of bullet points about people.
Well, I had a
Yeah,
rough
it
time
is
in
kind of weird
school.
though.
I
Okay.
was like relentlessly bullied. I was beat up in the hallway.
Yeah, it was kind of weird that when she was saying that my stepdad was like this, my mother was a drunk, and then he goes, you know what, I was bullied in school. Of course, that's a big thing, but then when you like compare those things and the way he said it, I was like, did he also was his mother a junkie too? But then we saw that, oh, I was bullied. I'm like, okay.
I remember going into lunch and I tried to sit down at a table and people would like push my tray off the table.
So obviously this is a very real thing that happens to a
Yeah,
lot of
but that broke my heart when he said that people hate someone so much that like they won't even like they would push someone's tray off a table. Like that's just bad.
kids in high school. I'm not denying that, but I gotta be honest, I don't believe this guy. This might be an unpopular opinion because when I look it up, it seems like a lot of people like this guy, but he just strikes me as the Trevor of this season. I'm not buying a word that he says. However, I have not watched everything so far, so I don't know how it all goes. I'm not trying to be too hard on everybody before I know the whole story. This is just kind of the gut feeling I'm getting. I don't think he's necessarily completely lying about being bullied, but I feel like he's definitely leaving out context and acting like he was just the kid that got picked on by everybody all the time, which I doubt.
And so I'd go like eat alone in the bathroom.
Maybe it does feel like he's like omitting certain stuff out, which there may be questions from the other side, like, oh, did you really do that? Maybe their reaction was bad, but maybe exaggerated, but they were not like truly wrong. It felt like that stuff I feel more from the body language that he exhumes.
Or like in the practice room and like play piano or something. And I have really bad ADHD. And so I failed high school basically.
All right, yeah, there's definitely some details being left out here. You don't just fail high school because you have severe ADHD. Like, that's not how that works. Of course, it can make things more difficult if you struggle with ADHD, but it sounds like he's kind of just saying, oh, well, I couldn't even pass high school because I had ADHD. I didn't really have a choice. Something is telling me that he's just painting an overly sympathetic view of himself for everybody. Oh man, if I'm wrong about this guy, I'm just gonna seem like another person that's bullying him for no reason. I hope You don't have to go sit in the bathroom, dude.
It's so great how we're like just getting to know each other's voices.
I know.
Like,
Yeah,
Oh,
that's
it
the
this
show.
would be
girl.
so weird to meet each other and
This
like put the
girl.
face with the voice.
She was fun, but man, she was a little bit annoying, especially when the other person on the side was like this guy, like trying to be in her pants. Like then she was like truly like unbearable. When you had these guys like truly like overexcited people who just wanted to be with the other person. Oh, it was horrible because both of their personalities then were too loud for me.
Oh my god, I can only imagine what that feels.
Oh my God.
Wait,
Oh
why is
my
that so crazy to think
God.
about right now? You guys just met, so it's like just meeting a stranger for the first time. That's all it would be. After people have formed a connection and they're only talking to one person for a while, I can understand why they get really excited about seeing them. But when you just met somebody, it's like, isn't it gonna be crazy when we see each other? I don't know, not really. You probably won't even see each other.
Yeah.
Like yesterday, we like just did the whole like, who are you? What's your story?
Yeah.
And I immediately wrote down like, Mason's so cool, but like, is he goofy? Will
I
we
mean,
laugh
you
together?
don't
That
know
is
each
huge for
other.
me in a partner. I mean, I want to go home and have someone who is
Oh,
just
she froze.
done with me.
Oh, that's huge for me. Being goofy, acting goofy. I very much enjoy humor. One time I watched a comedy movie and I laughed the whole way through. It was very funny and entertaining. So yeah, humor is very important to me. I enjoy a good joke. I'm also really into commitment and like love and stuff, loving feelings.
I hope you can follow this, but like, I listened to a Joe Rogan podcast once,
Okay.
Okay.
and he was talking about how people will pour
Oh,
like some kind of material
Conspiracy
into like an
theory.
ant
I
tunnel,
remember
like an
that.
ant home.
This is getting pretty tough to follow. I don't know if I can comprehend this kind of information. Mason, you better start acting goofy really fast because honestly, you don't strike me as the goofy type. I don't think you're goofy. You have a very ungoofy personality. I think you're trying to be something you're not. To me, whenever
My
somebody's like,
hands.
oh, that's exactly what I want, I'm the exact same way. For the most part, it just seems like they're trying too hard. There seems to be a lot of personality mirroring that happens on this show. There are definitely plenty of couples that I just haven't talked about that are more genuine. But whether it's conscious or subconscious, I think a lot of these guys just start telling the women whatever they want to hear.
Ant homes are so intricate underground.
Oh my
god,
God.
it's incredible.
No, I just heard
Oh,
about it. There's
I-
different powers out in the universe.
Yeah, he
Honestly,
was
she sounds like that
definitely-
meme where people are like, oh, sees one Joe Rogan podcast and then just starts talking
Yeah, he was definitely just, yeah, I agree. That meme.
about energies and elk meat. I still just can't get over the fact that she told him this might be hard to follow and then proceeded to talk about people pouring molten aluminum into an anthill. And now she's talking about powers in the universe or something. I haven't seen any of those Marvel movies. Is that like the Infinity Gauntlet or something like that?
Yeah.
And how like once you reach a certain energy and certain power, you can actually control the weather. And I was like, oh my god.
What is she talking about? Am I clueless here? Once you reach a certain experience level, you get to just unlock the ability to control the weather? I don't even know what I'm supposed to say to that. She just said if you get enough energy and power, you can control the weather. She's not being very specific, so I'm not sure if she's referring to technology that slightly modifies the weather or if she means like an individual person can control the weather, like Storm from X-Men. Anyway, let's check back in on Dave. Let's see what Dave is up to.
I told some of the girls that I had my own OnlyFans,
Yeah.
and they believed me. I was like, nah, I'm just kidding.
You want to hear
They kind of gelled together because they were kind of like the same personality. Like he was kind of like a male whore, and she was, a female one essentially. But the thing was, they felt like people like who are just so similar that if they come together, they will be destructive to each other and to the rest of the world. That's what I felt like.
the saddest fact in the world? As I was watching the first few episodes, I was like, you know what? Dave might be the saving grace of this season. Dave and Megan seem to be the only two so far that actually have a personality that I can distinguish. And yet all Dave has done so far is just joke about someone being old and then tell everyone he has an OnlyFans. That's where the bar is, okay? You don't have to do very
I
much.
think
They brought
he-
like 40 people on this season. We've heard from 6 of them,
Yeah,
maybe.
I
Nope.
think, maybe if we were expecting an eccentric personality from Dave, that he didn't deliver. But aside from that, the things that he said about his life, about why the way he was, I think I did found that interesting. And the way he kind of played two people and also like took information out from them, I liked that.
offense to everyone
Interesting
else
for
here,
me.
but how can they be that boring to not even make the cut? And they shouldn't take offense to that, because being too boring for reality TV is probably a good thing.
What type of kisser are you?
Yeah, in
Are you,
real
like,
life.
super aggressive kisser, kind of like laid back, kind of feel it out?
I think it depends on the vibe of where we're taking things.
Yeah.
Sometimes
All right, Dave, what kind of question is that? Are you like a super aggressive kisser, or are you more laid back, or like when I first see you, should I just go to town, or what? The way he says it, he's implying there's just one default type of kiss that everyone has, and it's just always going to be the same. Anyway, so now we're going to move on to Daniel. He's the 5'8" guy. That's the one thing I remember about him. That's not even that short. He's acting like he's super short. They couldn't even get the short guy storyline right.
I journaled about you last night.
did you?
Mm-hmm.
But
Maybe in my journal
she
as
was
well.
very funny. It's like her voice gave out because I don't know why. And she just felt like Stephen Hawking was talking to us that whole segment.
Oh my gosh.
Honestly, after this show, I might have to
Whoa.
cut the phrase "oh my god" completely out of my vocabulary. It's a common thing to
Did he
say. I'm
just-
sure I say it a lot, but I mean, come on. It's their reaction to everything. Anything happens, and they're like, "Oh my god. Oh my god."
Means something to me that like you're on my mind.
The first time we talked, if we agreed on something, you kept saying, I'm right there with you.
Yeah.
Instead of just saying, like, yeah, true that, or I agree.
That's
Who
what I love about
says
you,
true
Daniel. You
that?
could have said "I agree" or "true that," but instead you said "I'm there with you." That's what a gentleman does, Daniel. If you had said
That kind of means the same thing. It's that I'm there with you. It's kind of like what normal people used to, like console someone. It's not like they're really gonna be there. It's like you like pour your heart out to a stranger and they say the same thing. Do you think that they are going to stay there for you forever? No. That's a kind thing to say. And you are strangers right now. You may not even meet each other because you may not, like each other overall. So it doesn't make sense.
I agree, I would have gotten up and left the pod forever. When you say you're there with me, it's like you're here with me. It makes me feel like you care about being in this pod with me. Daniel, I'm not trying to be dramatic, but I love you more than anybody has ever loved another person in the history of the world. That's not something I say lightly. Like, I don't just throw that around.
For some reason, the response, I'm right there with you, is like, again, so comforting. Like,
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
it just feels like these are people that have been burnt up in life. Like if like these small things, like these small phrases are getting them like so like smitten with people, I wonder what they have gone through in their life and what not they have gone through, because it can also be a lack of experience in relationships that may like even like a small sign of like love or like feelings from the other side may get you overexcited or over possessive of the other person.
you're right there.
There's like 6 episodes in the pods. We have 6 episodes of this.
Oh
the
my
phrase
God.
"I'm there with you" is just so comforting to me, because it's like, even though we're in different pods, it feels like my heart is in your pod, Daniel.
And then when you talked about
Oh.
having children one day and being a dad and a family, referring to your wife as the mother of your kids.
She keeps making this point about how he refers to his future wife as the mother of his kids. What else is he going to refer
Yeah.
to her as? That's what she would be, right? I'm not even trying to say anything bad about Daniel, but why is she giving him points just for wanting to have
Yeah, and isn't it like the mother of my kids, something said by husbands who do not really see their wife as their wife first but as the mother of their kids? Is that really just what a wife's responsibility should be, or the husband's case should be only just that towards his wife? Doesn't that kind of mean that kind of like love is gone and now you just have those responsibilities now between the both of you?
family? That's very normal. A lot of people on the show want that. Of course, it's an important thing to agree on, but she keeps mentioning it like it's a very unique thing that he's got going for him. Like, oh, he wants a family and kids. He wants his children's mother to be the mother of his children. I cannot believe that. What are the odds we both want that? I knew I was going to meet someone special here, but damn, Daniel.
Those are all like notes that I have written
Ah,
on your
damn,
page in
Daniel.
my book.
Yeah.
Literally in quotations, mother of my kids.
All right, I think we get it. I couldn't help but notice this season was supposed to be bigger than
Long
ever, but where the
neck.
hell is this guy? How
Damn,
boring was
looks
this
like a
guy? What did he
thick
do?
dick.
What did he say? Why did they not include a single thing from him? Here's another background dude. Don't know what his deal is. Anyway, I think that's about it for this video, and the next one will continue into the next episode.
So, if you like this kind of content, like my video, share and subscribe. If you don't, then share it with those who do. My social media links, which are my x/Twitter link and my Instagram link, are in the description below. So go follow me on that. My UPI ID link, which is shabwa.okcici, is in the description too. So donate any amount of money which can help me make YouTube a permanent career option. So that was it for me for today. So thank you. Goodbye. Aluda.